Hello everyone and welcome back to Growing with Professor Brown. Today we're finally getting back to the 8 Principles of Regenerative Gardening with principle number 7, keep your food slow and local. Now, this principle definitely confuses some of my students the first time I mentioned it in class. It's more gardening adjacent than my other principles, but I still think this is one of the most important principles that I teach, especially when it comes to our relationship with food, our relationship with the environment, and future generations as well. If you have kids, I think that this message will be particularly important for you, so please stick around. And why don't we jump right in? Today we're talking about food. In 1986, Carlo Petrini protested a McDonald's opening near the Spanish Steps in Rome. 3 years later, he founded Slow Food International, coining the term slow food. But others, like Alice Waters, author of We Are What We Eat, a Slow Food Manifesto, were already a part of this movement. Before fast food, all food was slow food. Here's what they understood. We weren't just losing recipes and family meals, we were losing our children's relationship with real food. In just a few generations, we created a world where kids think food comes from plastic packages or drive-through boxes designed by marketing teams. Ron Finley, the gangsta gardener from South Central LA, has planted dozens of gardens in food deserts, working to improve his community and create a bright future for those children. Petrini, Waters, and Finley all understand how important it is for children to be connected to good, clean food and the land, because the disconnect from real food is costing us more than we realize. When I say fast food, I'm not talking about frozen vegetables or dried beans. I'm talking about ultra-processed foods, products that look nothing like the whole foods they came from and lack nutritional value. Sodas, chips, highly processed meats. Recent CDC data shows that 62% of children and teens' daily calories come from ultra-processed foods, nearly 2/3 of their diet. Even toddlers aged 1 through 5 get 56% of their calories from ultra-processed foods. This isn't an occasional treat anymore. This is the foundation of many children's diets. These foods are designed to hit that perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat that our brains respond to. For developing brains, this makes it harder to appreciate whole, unprocessed foods. This isn't just about obesity, even though that is a serious problem among our young. We're talking about foods that lack the nutrients growing bodies and brains need. Now, not all processing is bad. Drying and fermenting foods can enhance nutritional value. But there's a world of difference between frozen broccoli and chips designed to be difficult to put down. This is where gardens come in, and where I can speak from experience. I spent years as a school garden coordinator, working with kids planting seeds, pulling weeds, and eating fresh produce together. I wrote my master's thesis trying to understand what I was seeing, how gardens changed kids in ways classroom lectures never could. Then I found the research that explained it. A Barcelona study followed over 2,500 children aged 7 to 10. Kids surrounded by more green space showed measurably better working memory and attention. Between 20 and 65% of those benefits were linked to reduced air pollution from green spaces. But it goes deeper, literally. There's a bacterium in the soil called Mycobacterium vaccae. When you dig in the dirt, it activates neurons in your brain that produce serotonin, the same neurons antidepressants target. This might be why gardening makes us feel good. When kids dig in gardens, plant seeds, harvest vegetables, they're physically connecting with something their bodies recognize and respond to. Gardens give children direct contact with the living systems that sustain us. They see where food actually comes from, that tomatoes grow from tiny seeds that need water, sun, time, and care. That connection changes how they see food forever. Now, let's talk about cutting-edge research on how food affects our children. Your gut has its own nervous system. Scientists call it your second brain. The bacteria in your gut constantly communicates with your brain, affecting mood and focus. Simple version: whole foods with fiber feed good gut bacteria. Ultra-processed foods don't. And gut health matters for kids developing brains. Scientists are exploring whether gut health plays a role in conditions like ADHD and autism. We don't have all the answers, but we do know this: a healthy diet with whole foods makes a difference for every child's developing brain. I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm not saying never eat cookies. But there's a big difference between occasional treats and a diet primarily made of foods that don't serve our bodies. When we eat whole foods, foods that look like they came from the earth, we're giving our bodies what they need to build healthy cells, healthy brains, and healthy futures. So, what can we do? When we can grow our own food, we should. Herbs on a windowsill, tomatoes on a balcony. Let kids be a part of it. When we can't grow our own, seek out farmers markets. Choose whole foods. Use tools like My Plate to build balanced meals. But whenever possible, show kids where real food comes from. Because once you've grown a tomato yourself, once you've tasted food you grew with your own hands, you never look at food the same way again. Now this brings me to what I really wanted to talk about today. In my classes and sometimes on this channel, I talk about some pretty depressing things. I've talked about the issue that we have with chemicals, with pollution, obesity, childhood disease. Sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming when we see all of the things going on in the world around us, and we might feel like there's nothing that we can do. I can't go sit in front of the Congress and speak to them about my concerns, but there is something that I can do, and there's something that you can do as well. Anytime that you take a child outside and show them how to plant a seed, or how to dig their hands into the soil, or you harvest a fruit together and try that first delicious summer bite of a nectarine or a peach or a plum, you're instilling in your children the love that can change the world. We don't know which children are going to grow to be teachers, paramedics, firefighters, scientists, or even world leaders. But if we give children this love, if we teach them how to love the world that they live in, I think that this is our best shot at saving our future. So if you have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, or if you just work with kids, please take them outside. Spend a little bit of time with them in the garden. I sincerely believe this may be some of the most important work or play that we do in our lives. I'll see you next time.